Stunning images of refugees jumping from a boat off the coast of Libya. This coming with President Obama set to host an international summit on refugees in just 2 weeks. The administration already hitting its goal of admitting more than 10,000 Syrian refugees in this fiscal year. Former U.S. Army pilot Amber Smith thinks that the president could use this summit to make the case for letting in more. Amber, that's a big problem since we don't know who a lot of these refugees really are, do we?
Yeah, we don't. And now that Obama has brought in those 10,000 Syrian refugees before that fiscal year 2016, like his deadline originally was, clearly they weren't properly vetted in accordance with vetting procedures that we see right now. It's supposed to take up to about 2 years. It includes a national security background check and an in-person interview in the region of the world where those displaced refugees live or are staying prior to coming into the United States. And often the administration says that sometimes those interviews are getting waived because it is too dangerous for those State Department or Homeland Security officials to be there to conduct those interviews. So yeah, who are these people that are coming in? Have they waived most of the criteria for refugees to come into this country? It's a huge national security risk because we don't know who these people are.
Amber, why wouldn't our government look to the mistakes made by, say, Germany, for example? Now granted, 10,000 is nowhere near the 1.1 million asylum seekers that were registered just last year in Germany, but Angela Merkel herself has admitted that she invited terrorists into the country through this refugee program.
We haven't learned from Europe's mistakes, and we should be. That's a leadership failure within the administration for not seeing what has happened. There is a straight-up refugee crisis going on in Europe right now. We've seen it with the terrorist attacks, but we've also seen it with this culture clash where these refugees that come in from these foreign countries like Iraq, Syria, different parts of the Middle East are coming in, and they are not basically understanding European or Western culture, where they're having to be given briefings that sexual harassment and assault is wrong and rape is bad and they're not allowed to do it.
Well, if you look beyond, well, two of the Paris terrorists were in the attacks there came in through the refugee program. You had one Syrian refugee who killed a pregnant woman with a machete. And look at the sexual assaults in Cologne, Germany over the New Year's, which essentially were swept under the rug and got very little coverage here. And if you look at that, is that what this country is in store for?
Well, look, you can't let emotion drive policy and decisions that are best for this country. And it's time for us to put America first. And all Obama is doing right now when he's like opening the floodgates to these Syrian refugees is treating the symptom of the problem. The problem of these refugees being displaced is because of ISIS in Iraq and Syria, and it's because of the civil war with Assad in Syria. So until President Obama gets serious about solving those problems, there are going to be a continuum of increased amount of refugees and people looking to flee that conflict zone in the Middle East. So if Obama wants to help those refugees, that is how you help them. You destroy ISIS and you deal with the civil war in Syria and Assad.
Amber Smith. Amber, thank you so much. It was great to see you.
Thanks, Megan.
Instead of slowing down, it looks like the administration is doubling down on its plans to close Gitmo before President Obama leaves the White House. Why the man who shot Osama bin Laden says it's making a deadly mistake. Rob O'Neill is here. And with the election 2 months out, why is the federal government stepping in? Why some states are worried.